What's up, 6th grade? This is Lesson 7A, Day 3, and today you are going to learn about solving two-step problems. So, make sure your math book is on page 76, 77. If not, pause this video and get there. Alright, so in this lesson, no calculators allowed. Follow my directions, and you're going to have to stay focused because it's an interesting one. You ready? So, let's start by reading the problem. It says, a furniture company sells a desk for $1,435. That is a mighty expensive desk. It cost the company $817 to make the desk. Okay, so that's the cost. All right. Last month, 253 desks were sold. Okay, so they sold that many desks. What is the total profit earned by the company from the sales of the desk last month? All right, so let me make sure you understand what profit means before we go on. So profit means this. So right now you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of money they got from each desk. But no, they sold the desk for that. But remember, it cost them quite a bit of money to build that desk. They have to pay for the wood and the nails and the paint and the workers to build it. So it cost a lot of money to build it. So profit means if you subtract what those costs away from what you sell the desk for, whatever's left is your profit. That's what you actually make. So keep that in mind as we go through this question. So the two strategies we're going to talk about are analyze it and writing it as an equation. That's using more algebra. So let's go through this. This says you can analyze the information given in the problem to determine the correct operations to use. So the first step says the profit from each desk equals the sales price minus the cost. So subtract to determine the profit for each desk. Okay, we just talked about that. Now the total profit equals the profit from each desk times number of desks sold. Multiply to find the total profit. So think of this as step 1. Subtract to find the profit for one desk. Step 2, multiply that profit by the number of desks you sold. So this is a two-step problem. Now, the model it is going to write an equation to show those two steps, the subtract and the multiply. Now, remember, you have to subtract first, right? So, this says let P represent the total profit from the desk sales last month. So, notice here they have P, total profit, equals sales price minus cost times the number of desks sold. So, think of step 1 right here. Subtract to determine the profit. That's this, sales price minus the cost. Step 2, multiply to find the total profit. Well, that's here. You then multiply that by the number of desks sold. All right, so now we are going to go, let me erase some of this ink here, onto the next page, and we're going to go through some problems here. So we're going to do a lot of these together during the connect it. So 20 says, look at model it. What do the parentheses in the equation indicate? So let's talk about that. So you know up here how the first thing you do is you subtract, right? And then you multiply. Well, let's go down here and look at the equation. And let's pretend, I'm going to see if I can match the color to erase. Let's pretend that there are no parentheses. Voila, they are gone. Now, if there were no parentheses, PEMDAS, the order of operations, would say if there's no parentheses, that you would multiply before you would subtract, right? So without PEMDAS, you would multiply the cost of building one desk times the number of desks sold, and that would be a really big number, and then you'd subtract that from what you sold a desk for, and that doesn't make any sense. So what the parentheses do is they basically say you have to subtract first. The parentheses are saying, put the parentheses around the subtraction problem so that you do it first, right? That's why they're saying it. So now, we could write this down. What do the parentheses represent? So the parentheses, make sure you're writing this down, tell you to subtract first. Okay. Now remember, you can also pause the videos at any time if you need more time. Now, 21 says, use the numbers given in the problem to rewrite the equation. So let's go over to the other page. Okay, so here is our equation right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our numbers that I have circled in pink up at the top and put them in instead of the words. This is called substituting. All right, so first thing, the profit equals the sales price minus the cost. Now remember, the sales price is $1,435 for a desk. Subtract the cost that the company has to spend to build the desk, minus $817. And then, after you get that number, remember the number you get there is going to be the profit for one desk, you have to multiply that by the 253 desks sold. All right, now this we'll write over here for number 21. So P equals 1,435 minus 817. All of that times 253. Okay, so get that written down and pause the video if you need to. All right, so now 22 says, explain how you can subtract to determine the profit earned from the sale of each desk. Well, this is what we talked about before. This is what profit is. So we're basically going to say you have to subtract the cost associated with building the desk from what you sell it for to determine your profit, all right? So let's write this down. To find the profit, you must take away or subtract the cost of building the desk from the sale price of the desk. Okay, so you could pause the video if you need more time to write that down. Okay, because I'm going on to 23. 23 says, how much profit does the company earn from the sale of each desk? Well, guess what? Now you're going to do the subtraction. So to answer 23, you are going to do this subtraction problem. So pause the video, do that subtraction problem, and then restart it to see if you were right. Go. All right, let's see if you had it. Ready? So 5 minus 7 I can't do. Borrow from the 3, make it a 2. Make that a 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 4 minus 8, I can't do it. So you do 14 minus 8, which is 6. So $618 is the profit from one desk. That's how much money they make, which is not bad, I don't think. But I don't make desks, so I don't know. So over here, if you have that right, good. You're kicking butt. $618 is what they make from one desk. All right, now 24 says, explain how you can multiply to determine the total profit earned from selling the 253 desks. So I want you to think about that. You make $618 for one desk. Now, if you want to be a weirdo, you could add 618 plus 618 plus 618, 253 times for each of those desks. But no, that's why we have multiplication. So what we would say here is you make $618 from one desk. You must multiply that by 253 to get the profit from 253 desks. Make sense? Okay. If you need to write that, you can put it in your own words. Don't forget, pause the video now and then restart it when you're done, because I'm going on to 25. Now, 25 says, how much profit did the company earn from the sale of 253 desks last month? Okay, well now you got to do your multiplication. So You can choose any strategy you want. If you want to do traditional, that's fine, but I'm going to be doing lattice. So do 618 times 253, no calculator, and restart the video when you're done. Go. All right, so I have my lattice done, and I'm going to start by doing my multiplication. So first I'm going to multiply. 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 6 is 12. By the way, it doesn't matter if you put the 253 on top and the 618 on the side, you'll get the same answer. 5 times 8 is 40, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 6 is 30, 3 times 8 is 24, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 6 is 18. So you could pause the video to see if you messed up any of your multiplication, and you have a chance to fix it. Okay, I'm continuing. Add them up. 4, 3, 2, 0 is 5, 8, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Write the 3, carry the 2. 2 and 2 is 4, 5, 6. 2 and 3 is 5, and 1. So my answer is $156,354. That's their total profit. So if you messed up your multiplication anywhere, pause this video and make your corrections now. Okay. Let's write that down. What was it? 156,354. Ooh, that was my phone. Pain in the rear end when it rings, right? Okay. So now we're going to continue. How can you estimate to make sure your answer is reasonable? Okay. So let's talk about number 26. So for number 26, how can you estimate to make sure your answer is reasonable? Well, we're going to go through the math steps, but we're going to use nice rounded numbers. So remember, it was 1435 for the desk, right? So that's about 1,400. And it cost them $817 to build the desk. That's about 800. Subtract that and you get about 600. Now, they built 253 desks. So I'm going to multiply that by 250. So if I do that, it's kind of mental math. Think 6 times 25. I think of 6 quarters as $1.50. So 6 times 25 is 150. And then I'm going to add these 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay, so notice my estimate is pretty darn close to the exact answer. So when it says, how can you estimate to make sure your answer is reasonable? Well, you could say, you can round the numbers and see if you get close to the exact answer. So I would say $150,000 is close to $156,354. So my answer is reasonable. Okay, so pause the video to get close to filling that one in. So that's the point of estimating. You can figure out, well, if your answer is pretty close to that estimate, then you are probably at least close to the exact answer. All right, so you ready? Okay, so number 27. So this says, use what you just learned about two-step word problems to solve this problem. So your job is to read number 27 and you're going to solve it. Now remember on the previous page, you can write an equation if that helps you, or you could analyze it to find the operations. Remember how we found in that last one that you had to subtract first and then multiply? Well, that doesn't mean you're going to have to subtract and multiply in this one, but you want to think about what are the two operations that you're going to need to solve this problem. So here is your job. Give 27 your best shot, When you're done, restart it to see if you are correct. Go. All right, so I'm going to solve this one now. You should have 27 done. You gave it your best shot, I hope. So 27 says, Lori's fitness tracker shows she took 8,954 steps on Saturday and 7,038 steps on Sunday. Okay, let me circle some stuff. So that many steps Saturday and that many steps on Sunday. I'm going to write Sunday up here. Okay, now her goal is to take 20,000 steps every weekend. Okay, it's a lot of steps. How many more steps does Lori need to reach her goal? All right. Now, I do know when I underline that sentence, whenever it says how many more, there's going to be subtraction somewhere, because how many more means to subtract. So here's what I want to think about. Okay, so these are the steps she did. This is her goal. So I'm going to have to subtract to figure out how many more. Now I'm thinking I could do 20,000 minus 8,954 and then subtract 7,038. So I could do this minus this, get an answer, and subtract this. That would work, but that would give me two subtraction problems. So the other option is, I'm thinking I could add Saturdays and Sunday steps together to get one number and then subtract that from 20. So that will get me the same thing, but then I have an addition and a subtraction problem to do. So I think I'm going to go with that one because I'd rather an addition and a subtraction than two subtractions. All right, so first, let me add Saturday and Sunday steps together. So Saturday, and you didn't have to label this, but it was 8,954 steps. And Sunday was 7,038 steps. So I'm going to add those steps together, and I'm going to get, it's 12, 9, 9, 15. So these are my total, or Lori's total steps. Okay. Now, remember, the question says, how many more steps does Lori need to reach her goal? Her goal is 20,000. So step 2 is I'm going to take 20,000 steps, and I'm going to subtract 15,992. Okay, so when I do that, I have to do some regrouping because I can't do 0 minus 2. So I go all the way over to the 2, make it a 1, which makes this a 10. But now I have to borrow from that, which makes this a 10. Borrow from that, which makes this a 10. Borrow from that, which makes this a 10. Now I'm going to do my subtraction. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 9 is 0, comma. 9 minus 5 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm not going to write that down. So my answer, how many more steps does she need to reach her goal? She needs 4,008 more steps. So if you had that, awesome. You got it right. You found both steps and you did it right. If you didn't, remember, pause this, make your corrections, think about what you did, and you're done with me. Hey guys, thanks for watching.